manage democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chaos Continuum podcast. We are doing an idiot's guide once again today for Helldivers. Just a little upkeep as well. Thank you for everyone who subscribed and watched the shorts. But we're also appearing on the Jericho podcast. I don't know when, probably about a week. If it's not linked in the description of this video, it will be linked in the description of the next one. Probably, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's there. Go watch it if you want to hear us talk about Flat Earth. But today, we are talking about the lore... What?
I was just saying, just to add on to that. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sorry. There's no other way to get out. I'm cutting you up. That, and if you're also interested in that, we will be, when it comes out, we will be streaming a live reaction to it on Twitch, on Bustin' McThunder. At Twitch or whatever I'm supposed to use.
Yeah, we're going to go through and make sure that I am right.
So if you're interested in that, I'm assuming we'll leave a link in for the Discord server in the description, and probably your Twitch in the description, and your main channel and all that shit.
They're down there. Yeah.
Man, it feels so good to fucking swear, dude. Fuck me.
Yeah, to not be like filtering our speech. And speaking about filtering your speech, today we are talking about Helldivers and how we are going to protect managed democracy at every cost. Leave no expense spared. Which I love. I bought Helldivers 2 days ago, and I've put 12 hours into it already.
You should stream it.
I plan to, but I need to move my PS5 into this room, and that's a bitch because I gotta clean. Do you know anything about Helldivers? Before we start,
it's been pretty much off my radar. Yeah, I've been both waiting to maybe play it first or waiting for eventually. I knew we were going to do an episode about this. I had a preemptive feeling.
Yeah.
So I've kind of kept that gate closed in the hopes for this. We're
going to go over like the kind of basics of the universe. There's not a whole lot. It's not very. If Warhammer is super dense and then Destiny is like kind of dense, Helldivers is scraping for scraps. Like, there's not a whole lot. There's no like books and everything. It's just like everything that we know from 2 games. And Helldivers 2 obviously just came out like a few weeks ago, and it's fresh. And it's live service, so the story of Helldivers 2 is still unraveling right now live.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about, because Helldivers 2 does this thing where, do you remember the map from For Honor?
Which map?
Like how like each faction and like depending on what modes you were playing and how often you won, like that faction would move forward.
Yeah.
So Helldivers 2 has a similar thing. I'll actually just scroll down in the slideshow to pull up this map for the audience at home, where they have this map. So right now there's only 2 enemy factions, which we will talk about here in a moment. You have Automatons, which are like robots, and then Terminids, which are just bugs. And they're coming from each side of the galaxy. And the more players that are fighting, the more of the enemies in a specific area will actually push them back on the map. Or if you're losing, they will push in and get closer and closer to Super Earth. So the story, quote unquote, of Helldivers 2 is directly determined by the players that are actually going out and interacting with the game. So like the game will give you like prompts that is like, hey, this week the bugs are really pushing in hard, and like if the entire player base is like, well, I'm tired of fighting bugs, I'm gonna go fight the robots, and they just ignore it, the bugs will move closer and closer to Super Earth, which I'm not sure what happens then, if that means we get to fight on Super Earth, or if what do you call it, there's gonna be, I don't think there's an end state to it, but like it's just interesting to see it expand as it goes and have like an impact, because like For Honor did the same thing, but there was no impact. It was just sort of like, this faction has more points.
Whoever won at the end of the season,
you just get like a few extra loot crates or whatever,
which was always the fucking Vikings for some reason,
because the Vikings are just superior, baby.
Apparently.
So we're gonna get into Helldivers now. Are you ready, Ben? You better be. Because first of all, we're talking about Super Earth, baby. Yeah, Super Earth, best Earth. Super Earth. We fight for justice, we fight for liberty, and we fight for family. Family values, specifically. So, We're going to be talking about the origins of Super Earth in the greatest democracy that has ever seen the galaxy. So, Super Earth uses a thing called managed democracy, which takes the thinking process out of the voting process. So essentially, citizens of Super Earth and its colonies will go to the voting booth, and they will give Super Earth their opinions on certain topics. How do you feel about schools? How do you feel about the church? How do you feel about roads? What do you think about the shape of our flag? And the super advanced voting poll systems will vote for the candidate that best fits your needs.
Okay.
So that is how managed democracy works in Super Earth. It's a win-win for everybody.
So,
you don't have to think. You don't have to watch the primaries. You just tell them what you want, and it spits it back out to you.
So it's like enough people go, man, I hate the roads. They're gonna change. They're gonna change the roads.
If enough people are unhappy with the roads, the managed democracy will vote for a candidate that has a staunch position in taking care of the road problem.
Okay. I think this makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So for Super Earth, they discovered FTL, faster than light travel, in 2030. This is after Super Earth established. So there was this thing called the Great War that kind of ravaged a lot of Earth. If you look at the map of Earth from Helldivers 1, I believe, a lot of specifically like the northernmost territories of the planet, like Canada and Russia, are completely irradiated because they got nuked to hell and all this other stuff. So they're kind of uninhabitable.
Awesome. I love the positivity for us Canadians out here. Hell yeah.
Out of all of that, Super Earth rose from the ashes. They discovered or invented faster than light travel in 2030. And then while exploring the galaxy, they had first contact with the Illuminate in 2080. And that is the events of Helldivers 1, which we will talk about a little bit more as we get into the other factions, where Super Earth fought the Illuminate, the cyborgs, and originally called just the bugs in Helldivers 1. They fought them all back, they eradicated them all, and Helldivers 2 takes place a century later after more of Super Earth has gone out and colonized the further reaches of the galaxy.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's just
sounds
about
like
that.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're going to talk a little bit about the culture of Super Earth and the best place to live. So basically, Super Earth is very much built on the grounds of no evil think. If you even mention that you might have an issue with Super Earth, we're going to recommend you go see your corrections officer right away. Maybe you might have to go see your democracy officer, right? You know, just a little casual bit of relearning, re-education that you might have to go through for that. Super Earth, every citizen, as a God-given right, is given a weapon at 16. They are given an assault rifle at 16 years old to pump them up, to defend themselves, and to hopefully recruit them to become a Helldiver.
Okay. That sounds effective, I guess.
Hey, man.
I mean, that sounds super effective.
Wouldn't you like an automatic assault rifle when you turn your 16?
What? I sure would, and I sure support that policy, yes.
Yeah. They celebrate Liberty Day on October 28th, which is, as you can imagine, the celebration of liberty and Super Earth's liberation campaigns all across the galaxy.
Nice.
And they also have this thing called a C1 perm, which is basically forms and documentation you have to sign and be approved to have children.
Lovely.
So you have to fill out a form for each child you're going to have to make sure that they fit within the bounds of Super Earth's, desired ideals.
What happens if they don't?
You don't have a child.
Oh, so the parents have to fill these out to make sure that the kids that... Okay, yeah.
So that they can have a kid, yeah.
Okay.
So, now we come to the enemies kind of coming to Super Earth. One thing that's said by many officers of the Super Earth Helldivers and other, the smaller like military installations is that there is always another war. There's never really been a time in Super Earth's history where there hasn't been war of some kind. There's always, as soon as they're done fighting the bugs, they fight the cyborgs. As soon as they're done fighting the cyborgs, they fight the Illuminate. As soon as they're doing that, then they fight the automatons, right? Because there's always a threat to democracy somewhere out there. There's always somebody who wants to come to Super Earth and strip us of our God-given rights of managed democracy.
Okay.
So that's why Super Earth employs their Helldivers to keep you safe. And because heroes are going to make valiant sacrifices to make sure that your rights are protected.
So is there a reason why these people are coming to Super Earth?
They want to stop democracy. They're socialist and communist, and they want to end democracy for all of Super Earth's citizens across the galaxy.
Okay.
And there's also a thing I want to talk to you about here. I don't know if you're looking at it, Ben, but for all our lovely viewers, you may notice that this is just a photo of Joel from The Last of Us. So the reason why he's here is because Helldivers 2 employs this thing that they call a game master, which, if you're unfamiliar with the term, it's a term often used in like D&D and Warhammer type board games. It is someone who kind of makes choices that affect the world that the players are interacting with. So the studio behind Helldivers 2 has come out and told us that there is a guy at the studio, and the only thing we know about him is that his name is Joel. And this guy at the studio controls the actions of the automatons and the Terminids to keep the player base on their toes. So Joel, quite literally, is the biggest threat to democracy that has ever existed.
Okay. Do you think that's the end game if they hit Super Earth? Yeah.
What, we kill Joel from The Last of Us?
Yeah, do you think Joel from The Last of Us just like pops out of nowhere? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then we gotta beat him to death in golf clubs? Yeah.
You get this cutscene. They hit Super Earth, right? Cutscene happens and it's just Joel pops out. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I'd be interested to see Joel get written into the actual lore. Everyone refers to this self-controlled force as Joel because that's the only name we know it by. But Joel is the being that controls the movements of the enemy in Helldivers 2. Okay,
that's incredible.
It is.
It's incredible that it's like I just picture him waking up at like 2 a.m.
No, the way
winning. Yeah.
No, unironically, they have told us that he will get up in the middle of the night, check it, and see that the players are about to take a planet, and he'll go, just throw some more robots at it. And then it out of nowhere, the difficulty on that planet shoots way up, and players can no longer take it. Like, he's literally responsible for keeping the players from advancing too fast.
Could you imagine being that guy? Your alarm goes off. It's like 4 a.m. You get up. You're sleepy. You're tired. You're like, fuck. You're getting too far.
I imagine he has his bedroom set up like a bunker. So there's like a submarine, like like the red alert, like the fucking brr, brr, brr. And he looks up at like his computer desk, and it says like Helldivers are about to take Malevelon Creek, and he's like, I can't let that happen. Send the Unkillables.
It's one of those setups where it's like 10 different monitors, but just all make one screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the fucking monkey from Toy Story 3, where he's just like watching all.
Yeah. he's got his little James Bond film glasses on and a suit, arms behind his back. You know what I mean? He doesn't even sleep anymore.
He's dressed up like Dr. Evil, like he's just.
Yeah.
he's got the suit of what's his name? Is his name Spaceball from Spaceball, like the Darth Vader dude? Like,
could you imagine somebody like, what do you do for work? He's like,
dude,
I'm here to destroy democracy.
As somebody who's like written a lot of like D&D games and has DM'd almost my like my entire existence playing D&D has been DMing and not actually like playing as a player. This is like dream job material right here. Like be the DM for 700,000 players at a time. Like, dude, I would lose so much sleep because I would just have so much fun just making it interactive and like pushing back on the players and stuff like that.
There's just one team of Helldivers. There's just one team of Helldivers. They're just doing a little too good. And you specifically focus on them.
And he's like, send the invisible sniper from Blackwater here. But yeah, so if you ever think you're if you're ever playing Helldivers and you're on a roll, you're just slamming, you're just making your way through, and out of nowhere the game's like, okay, here's 10 Bile Titans. That's Joel. Just keep that in mind, that is Joel screwing you over.
I can't wait to play the game and sit there as the game gets infinitely harder for some reason, and being so much more frustrated knowing that it's one man at a keyboard.
There's been so many times already when I'm playing it where like everything will be fine. It's quiet. There's maybe like one patrol of enemies and like we shoot them down, and then out of nowhere 17 dropships show up. They're all dropping like dreadnoughts and like ATRTs and like hundreds of troops, and we're like, fuck, we're in the middle of an open field getting attacked on all sides. Where did this come from? And it's like I could just see Joel in his like Darth whatever Spaceballs costume behind 10 monitors with like the monkey symbols just going bam 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 bam, kill him. Like I could totally see that happening.
Man, that's incredible. I think it's even better that it's not like there's not like a time where it's like, okay, he's sleeping, right?
No, because he's woken up in the middle of the night to stop us. Like, there is no escape from Joel. Joel really is the greatest threat to democracy.
I unironically love that though. Yeah,
it is so perfect in so many ways.
Well, because it makes it more fun. Right? Yeah.
It does.
Even knowing that I'm opposing a single man.
The fact that it's a person also just makes it feel so much more fun than if it was like an algorithm that like put it together. The fact that it's a dude who like is pressing the big red button, like that is the best part about it.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I mean. That makes it better.
I want to see.
I wouldn't really care.
I want to see them give Joel like actual nukes. Like I want to see like the Automaton robots just like start like shooting Helldiver ships out of orbit. You know what I mean? Like I want to see him just be like, "Oh, you guys are about to liberate a planet? Well, fuck you. We're gonna blow up that planet." Like
just start like warhammering all over them.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I loved it when he said it's Warhammer time and started warhammering all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. That's probably the best part about the lore. I don't think anything else can top the fact that there's just one man that sits there, cracks his fingers, and opens up his laptop. It just starts, you know?
Yeah. Also, talking about the threats to democracy, we have a large amount of sympathizers and traitors to the enemy cause in Helldivers. Normally, this ranges from activists shouting about how the bugs or the Terminids are just animals and how we are encroaching on their territory, and all this anti-democratic speech. We make sure that they're re-educated. Same thing with cyborg sympathizers who insist on telling us that cyborgs are actually human and they deserve rights and all this other nonsense. No, re-education. We make sure that they're thinking what we want them to think.
So then how do the cyborgs start?
We would get into that later. There's a lot of rumors, the main one being that they were created by like an evil scientist type thing.
Nice. Like another Joel. Nice.
Yeah. Like a less powerful Joel.
Yeah. Joel is the evil scientist. Yeah.
It honestly very well could be. Yeah.
He's just grabbing players and turning them into cyborgs.
Because there are rumors that the cyborgs might return, even though it's been a century since we've seen them. And it could be Joel coming back for round 2. There's been a few Helldivers. I don't know if you've seen any of the posts on TikTok especially. You'll see a video of a Helldiver staring at a automaton in a field, and he'll caption it with something like, maybe we're the bad guys. And thankfully, I just want to give my condolences to the community and everyone in the comments for saying, or for reporting this man to your Democratic officer and and recommending he be re-educated because even Helldivers, our front line for democracy, have started turning to the enemy cause and questioning the managed democracy that we give to them. Could you believe it?
I mean, but like, why? Why are they here? Yeah.
Why are here?
They the automatons? Not the Tyranids, but you know what I mean.
I don't know where they came from, but they're a threat to democracy, so we have to make sure that they're wiped out.
Why are they a threat?
Because they're communist or socialist.
I don't know. All right, I'll agree with you for now. Yeah.
Ben, I swear, if I have to order a re-education camp for you specifically, I will not be afraid.
No. My bad.
I
agree. Democracy.
Along with Joel being a figure that's kind of boosted up through like the community discourse and stuff, there's also another popular figure, I would say more infamous figure in the community known as Gantz the Demon. No, it's not Cliffy B. This figure known as Gantz the Demon, who was recorded and spotted on a mission with his fellow Helldivers. And right before they were able to exfil, he executed systematically all 3 of his teammates before exfilling on his own and leaving them to die on a planet covered in Terminids. Wow. Gantz, I don't think, has been spotted since. I have not seen any spottings of him. But he is one of the few Helldivers who have become infamous for betraying the Super Earth cause and going off on his own. And hopefully one day, this demon is brought to justice.
Well, do we know why did he do it?
There is no why. He shot 3 Helldivers dead.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. You're right.
That's all the excuse we need. Like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, my bad. Good reasons.
Fuck
yeah, democracy. Yeah.
Next, we are going to talk about the heroes, the legends, and the patriots of Super Earth, the Helldivers.
Okay.
These are our peacekeepers of democracy, and I want to give you a little bit of a history lesson on them, if I may.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sure.
So,
I'd love to hear it. You know?
Our Helldivers were actually the ones who unified Super Earth. See, back when like the colonies and everything was kind of shortly getting set up, the Helldivers made sure that everyone got in line, and they ended the Great Wars, uniting Super Earth as one democracy. Yeah. If you can't tell, character break. If you can't tell, Helldivers is just Warhammer and Starship Troopers mashed together. And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. No. For some reason, when you said they bound together and shot, and I was like, I feel like I've seen that at Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that was a thing in Destiny too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Emperor did that too. But we're talking about Helldivers. I was
thinking of
so
yeah.
There was this one. There was this one battle called the Battle of Northman Creek, and that's actually where they developed the Hell Pods. Because basically this place at Northman Creek, the Helldivers, I guess they weren't technically called Helldivers at this point, but they literally could not get into it. Like, there was no easy way for them to access the territory, right? Until they developed the Hell Pods, which are basically the ODST style drop pods. They fire from orbit down onto the planet that lets them become shock troops that get right behind enemy lines and get right to where they're trying to go. And that's where those kind of came from. So the thing about Helldivers that you should always remember is that they are always outnumbered and they are never out-patriotismed.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the origin of Helldivers.
Never out patrioted. So, I got a few questions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I went quiet. But yeah.
Sorry, my bad. It was just the silence. I think it taking it long. Why don't we just be defensive? Why do we have to be aggressive?
Because why would? Are you suggesting that we let the bugs come to our front door and kill the women and children and our families and our schools?
No.
Ben,
not
what are you saying?
Children. No, I'm just asking. Why don't we take like a few planets that surround Super Earth and just defend them? Yeah.
So you want to let the Terminids spread
No.
uncontrollably all across the galaxy to a point where they are uncontrollable and we cannot defend?
Hear me out. Hear me out. I was thinking of this funny concept, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So obviously the Helldivers are getting overpowered. Why don't they just make the Automatons and the Tyranid fuckers, or whatever they're called, fight each other? Yeah.
They're on opposite sides of the galaxy, and the Helldivers are in the middle, so that would be a lot of work to try and lead them around.
That's what I mean, but just defend, and then eventually they're gonna have to go around looking for something. They're gonna fighting each other.
The Automatons and the Terminids, I might have called them Tyranids, sorry. The Terminids repopulate themselves at such a rate that if we let them go unchecked and just stuck to defending, they would come to our our home of democracy and just overrun it. The reason why we go out there to fight them is because we want to get them before they expand too fast, too quickly.
God, that sounds familiar. Ugh. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I don't. Why are they here?
That might be something we get into later.
Okay. All right. I think I'm done with this line of questioning. Fuck yeah, democracy and all that stuff. Yeah, wizard. Okay.
I might be wrong, but I might need to call a minister of truth up here at the end of the episode to get that and make sure.
I love democracy. I love truth. Fuck the robots. Fuck the bugs. Fuck everybody. Not everybody, just the robots and the bugs. Hell yeah. Fuck it, democracy.
I'd like to talk now about the kit of a Helldiver and the kind of things they use, because Helldivers have a lot of tools at their disposal. Most of it they keep on their ship in orbit, and they just launch it down from the ship. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So they have very basic kind of ballistic armor. It's nothing like too incredible. Like it's not like power armor of any sort. It's kind of like in the same vein, like ODST style things, where it's like it's incredible, but it's not like Spartan or like Warhammer levels of incredible, right? Like it's just really heavy duty ballistic armor. They have lots of different guns they can choose from like rocket launchers, LMGs, shotguns, a lot of more traditional type of weapons that you would probably see around today. I mean, Helldivers is only probably a couple centuries in the future from us at the most. They rely mostly on like heavy artillery and like orbital bombardments to take out like the heaviest of enemies and stuff like that. Even their Hellpods, when Helldivers come into the scene, they can use the Hellpods that they're landing in to make sure they take out an enemy, like you do in Titanfall 2. Like, use that to your advantage. They use everything they can to defeat the enemy, the undemocratic enemies. And soon, to Helldivers 2, we will also be getting mech suits that the Helldivers will use, which are like the Dreadnoughts in Warhammer, where they have like a minigun on one side and rockets on the other.
What do you think that means, though?
What? That we're getting mech suits?
I mean, they're getting bigger guns means bigger.
There's going to be bigger enemies, So,
yeah.
One thing that people are going to find out very soon, so like, say, for the Terminids, there's different levels of them. You know, you have like the tiny little guys that you can pull out your Glock and shoot them dead. And then you have these things called the Bile Titans, which are the massive they're like 40 feet tall. They're kaiju, like, basically. One of those is already a challenge. Now, it's said that on the Terminid homeworlds, the Bile Titan is the drone of a homeworld.
Oh.
So that's why we don't want them to repopulate, Ben. Actually, we're going to talk about that now, because now we're talking about the bugs.
Okay, wizard.
So the bugs. So they reproduce very fast, and they seek the Earth's destruction.
Why?
They just do. That's just their inherent nature. That's what they do.
Oh, okay, all right.
So if they are left unchecked, the Terminids will repopulate at such a rate and at such massive, as such massive monsters, they will eradicate the entire galaxy.
Okay.
Because all they want is destruction. Also, the Terminids produce a oil when they die, not unlike the natural oils that were produced by the decomposition and fossilization of like dinosaurs and fauna
It's
of
all
Earth.
coming together. It's all
So when they
coming
die,
together.
they produce this oil that can be used as a fuel.
It's all about the fucking oil. It always has been, always
So-
will be.
Technically, Super Earth has eliminated the Terminid threat several times, but they're also like the only race of intelligent alien. Well, they're not the only, but they're one of two intelligent alien species we've discovered in the galaxy. So whenever we get them at their lowest, we make sure to keep a few of them alive and keep them in zoos and farms to make sure that we don't outright make them extinct, because we just want them endangered.
But why though? I thought they were a threat to democracy.
Well, that's why we break them all the way down. And then, maybe it just so happens one farm that's, taking the oil out of them just falls apart and they start taking over a planet and reproducing, and then they spread from there. But we'll beat them back. We have it all under control, but we just have to make sure we get them before they can destroy democracy.
Yeah, for somebody that has it all under control, it doesn't really sound like. But,
Yeah, they literally beat them all the way back, and they're like, we could kill them all, or we could mine them for oil. And then mining them for oil turns into Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Let's mine these bugs for oil. Whoa, Jurassic Park.
Uh-oh, they got out. Helldivers, take care of it. That's exactly how it works. Yeah, because the Terminids, technically they were called just the bugs before, were beaten in Helldivers 1. Helldivers 2, as you heard, is 100 years later. So a lot of the oil farms for Terminids on the outer rim of the galaxy broke free of containment, and they've been spreading like wildfire and killing everything in their path because they hate democracy.
Yeah, it's the democracy that's the issue there. Yeah, I agree. It's the democracy why they're killing everybody. Yeah. So why did they come in the first? Why did they come in the first game? Why did they appear in the first game?
Because they're, they hate. Democracy.
Yeah, because a bug knows.
They were discovered by Super Earth. Super Earth discovers that they produce oil, and then they became a threat to democracy. That's kind of just the natural flow of things.
Oh, yeah. So what you're telling me is Super Earth discovered that these bugs supply them with fuel stuff, right? And they're like, oh, and now suddenly they hate democracy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, democracy. Let's go. Yeah.
So, next we're going to talk about the second major faction of Helldivers 2, as of now, the Automatons.
Do they also produce oil? Oh, no, let me guess. They turn them into fucking cars.
No. You're not too far off, but not quite. The Automatons are actually fairly new, so Helldivers 2 is Super Earth's first encounter with them. I've described them here as Warhammer 2K because that's about all that they are. They are literally just like they're robots that get bigger and bigger and bigger until they're like dreadnoughts from Warhammer.
Wow.
So the thing is that like automatons are actually socialist murder robots.
Yes, of course, the fucking commies. Sending their fucking murder robots in the depths of space. Of course, wow. So, that all makes fucking sense. Wow.
We actually don't know where the automatons come from. They just showed up in the western quadrant of the galaxy, and they started attacking Super Earth.
I'll tell you where they come from. They
Settlements.
come from the socialist planets in space, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm so glad you're on top of it.
I totally agree. For sure.
They're just uncaring socialist murderers that kill all the humans in their path, and they make sure to spread sadness to the people of Super Earth. There are a few rumors and reports from the field comparing the automatons to the cyborgs that came before them. A few Helldivers stating that their logo kind of looks similar to the cyborg logo. We've made sure those Helldivers have gone back to re-education to get reinformed on what the cyborgs were and how we killed them all, because there is no link to the cyborgs that we killed a century ago.
Course.
Yeah.
Naturally. Why would they?
And the automatons' greatest kind of point of interest right now, which a lot has happened. There's this planet called Malevelon Creek. And it is kind of like Vietnam for Helldivers, where...
Yeah.
So the bugs were a problem when Helldivers 2 began. The bugs were a problem. Got to keep them under control. You don't want them to repopulate.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh no, socialist robots from the depths of space emerged trying to take out human colonies and civilization and destroy democracy as we know it, right?
Yeah.
We basically were holding them on this choke point of a planet called Malevelon Creek, which is where a majority of automaton forces gathered to battle Helldivers on the ground.
Oh, and yes, of course.
I can report from the field, just a few days ago, the automatons took Malevelon Creek.
Wow.
But
oh no,
a few hours ago, when I was looking at the battle maps, Malevelon Creek is now 0.2% liberated, as a few Helldivers have broken through the blockades and started pushing back on this planet to make it Super Earths once again.
Wow. Good for them.
You sound very sarcastic, Ben. Do I need the...
No.
Do I need the Department of Truth here? Or...
No. Democracy, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Next, we will talk about the Illuminate, who were eradicated. They can be described in 3 words: nuclear bombs, fish, and electricity.
Wow, riveting.
That's probably not a very good description, but...
Yeah, that's... What a wonderful... Yeah, I totally know what those are from those words. Yeah.
So, the Illuminate were an aquatic, kind of fishy species of aliens that were the first... aliens that Super Earth had encountered in the galaxy. How we talked about they made first contact with aliens in 2080. The Illuminate came to Super Earth claiming to be wanting to make peace. We made contact with them. We spoke to them, and these weird kind of glowing orbs and their weird kind of fishy language were telling us that they wanted to make peace.
Yeah.
But
they're fish.
They also
right?
They had weapons of mass destruction, and we were worried that if we took their peace offering and lowered our guard, that they would just eliminate Super Earth in one shot. So instead, we took the righteous move and sent the Helldivers to the Illuminate.
Wow. Oh, of course, because what else would you do?
With a series of tactical preemptive strikes that forced them into a peace treaty. And as soon as we had peace with them, we took all of their science and all of their technological advancements to be used in our own Helldivers to make them even greater paragons of democracy.
Yeah, and you just killed them all, I'm assuming,
And then they were wiped out.
Wow, because, democracy, I guess,
Democracy has no place for aliens that would have eradicated Super Earth with the press of one button.
Wow, you sound like a god emperor. Wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, that's the story of the Illuminate. They came to us. They asked us for peace. We said, well, we think you have nukes, and then we bombed them to, we just so happened to be taking a lot of their technological advancements for ourselves.
Yeah, just like happenstance,
It was just a trade-off of the war, spoils of war, all that kind of...
They just coincidentally, they just got wiped out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then last we have the cyborgs, who were also eradicated. Any reports telling you otherwise are wrong and should be reported to your democratic officer today.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So the cyborgs are anti-Earth, they're inhumane, and they are traitors to democracy and Super Earth. So the cyborgs, we don't necessarily know where they come from. There's been no confirmed reports if it is the evil scientist Joel. That is the best idea we have so far, but it's not a 100% given. So the thing about the cyborgs is we don't necessarily know where they are, but we do know that they seceded from Super Earth because they wanted to be communist, and they did not like democracy.
Yeah. Okay. But why?
So,
why do they want to be communist?
Because they thought democracy was bad.
But why did they think democracy was bad?
Because they have no faith in Super Earth and the luxuries that we provide.
This is the most flat Earth argument I've ever heard.
So the cyborgs, you might want to turn down that tone. So the cyborgs were intent on replacing flesh with metal because they thought flesh was weak, and they wanted, the strong essence of metal to replace it.
Yeah.
But, so it just so happens that they're also really good at, mining, and, they make really good slave labor. So, even though we got, close to wiping them out, we kind of, we rounded up the few that remained and made sure to use them for labor to help, produce more for Super Earth. And it just so happens, as all tragedy does, that they may or may not have escaped from these slave foundations a few times, but we would always fight them back.
Is that as all great democracies, slavery is just a key component in its growth?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It always has been. What are you talking about? Are you questioning our democracy?
No, of course not. I mean, things. No, never.
I will say, this is something I skipped out on. So you ask why they're communist or why they hate democracy. One of the biggest things about the cyborgs is that their secession was not a letter of independence. They did not just say, hey, we're seceding, and they left. They actually staged a multitude of mass bombings on Super Earth and killed so many residents.
So was this after they were slaves?
No, this was before. And then it just so happens whenever we needed a reason to go after them, there just happened to be a subsequent terrorist attack.
Wow. There's a lot of parallels here to some things that I'm noticing.
Yeah. Yeah. But, we wiped them out, and the rumors about them being connected to the automatons are just false. Get that out of your brain.
Because how would that make sense? Because that wouldn't make sense from a group of cyborgs thinking that metal is the most powerful thing. And then,
why would they turn into complete robots? They're robots. They're not cyborgs. It's not the same thing at all. It's totally different. I'm telling you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that would be stupid. You'd be stupid to believe that. Yeah,
and this brings us to the end of our recap of Helldivers, and this brings me to my the map that I had that we talked about at the beginning, where the actions of the players in Helldivers 2 affect the story and everything going on with it. So, if you think you have what it takes, if you are brave enough, if you have the patriot bone in your body, do the best thing you will ever do in your life and become a Helldiver today.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
or don't. This seems like a bunch of bullshit. It seems like a bad idea. I mean, you can't tell me why the Tyranids are here. Supposedly,
Terminids. That's copyrighted. We can't say Tyranids. Terminids.
Sorry, my bad. Terminids. You can't tell me why they're here. You're telling me that a bunch of fish people showed up wanted peace, and you thought, "Wow, what a good one's going to kill them all." And take
they had nuclear bombs. What we were supposed to do? What?
Okay.
Why are you questioning Super Earth so much? What is?
I'm just saying it sounds stupid. This sounds like communism.
Are you calling our managed democracy communism?
This doesn't sound like freedom. Telling somebody not to think is just communism. This is just communism with the big D slapped on it. Okay? Yeah? This is wrong. What are you gonna do? Dude, you literally enslaved a group of people, and then every single time there'd be this supposed terrorist attack, and you go out and kill them. Doesn't seem fishy to you? Open your eyes, man. Open up your fucking eyes, dude. This is communism. I'm
genuinely stricken. I didn't know the communists would have gotten to you like this so
I'm not
quickly.
A fucking communist. I'm a realist. I'm saying it what it really is. Yeah.
So you don't believe in democracy?
It's because it's not fucking democracy. It's communism.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm listening to you. I'm just. I have to file a report real quick.
No, you don't. Come on, we've been friends for a long time. Come on, man. Just hear me out. Listen.
No. I'm filling out a C1. I'm applying for childship. It's not. It's nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm just saying. Don't you see what I mean? Don't you see what I mean, though? And obviously, the cyborgs who clearly believe that they should become more metal became the automatons. Like I was saying earlier, that only makes fucking sense. Yeah, that's evolution. That's what they believe in. Of course, they would become that. Oh, it's stupid. It's not even anti-democracy to believe in that. That's just like a weird rule.
So let me what's your officer number, by the way? Just it's unrelated. I just wanted to write it down I don't think I'm gonna tell you. Just tell me. Just tell me so I can make sure that I have you written down into the logs when I get you on my ship. You know what I mean?
No, it's good. No, it's good.
Okay, I'll just write down Ben.
Yeah, you know what?
So you don't believe in democracy?
Because it's not fucking democracy.
Okay,
it's communism or some more version of it. You're being brainwashed. You get a gun at 16, dude. You get a gun. What are you? Hey! You can't do this to me.
Raider.
Right? You can't fucking do this to me. You have to hear me out. It's not.
Should
it's
he
not
be
democracy.
re-educated or?
It's not democracy.
Oh, I think Terminated is probably the right one for this.
No. You don't have to do that. This is really funny and all, but come on, man. Hear me out. We go for 2 beers.
Ben,
we can talk about.
Do you Oh, the shuttle's already been dispatched, so the Ministry of Truth will be with you soon. They're going to ask you a few questions. Nothing bad's going to happen. Nothing too extreme. They're just going to come by. They're going to ask you a few questions. They're going to understand what you mean when you say that we're not democratic. And they're just going to have a few words to you.
They're fucking brainwashing you. They're brainwashing you right now. It's fucking brainwashing. I'm not saying the other enemies aren't bad. I'm just saying that what they're doing to you is horrible. They give you a gun at 16. You got it 16. Please.
I really wish you would have been better than this.
I'm trying to save you.
It's gonna be funny. But yeah, so that's Helldivers. Everyone, Ben,
that's awesome.
How do you feel?
I feel good. Are we out of the bit now?
Yes, we're out of the bit.
Alright, thank the Lord. Oh, that was really. That was hard to do. I was trying not to laugh halfway through that.
I laughed so much to it, and I was like, "Damn it!"
Well, the best part is I'm watching you do it. Yeah, and I'm watching your facial reactions. Yeah. You know what I mean? It sounds like a lot of fun. I am super excited to play it. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Like the game itself is really fun. I like the gunplay and everything.
I'm super excited to spread communist propaganda in my Helldivers sessions.
Helldivers, obviously. Oh, the player base will very much let you know. Like all the comments I see, like unironically, like that, like the dude who was saying, like maybe the automatons aren't the bad guys. Like every single comment in that video is, "I'm reporting you to the Ministry of Truth," or "I'm reporting you to the democracy officer."
There should be a special report button for players that does that.
Undemocratic.
Yeah, the undemocratic button makes you go through like the tutorial or whatever it is.
Yeah, it makes you do a re-education mission.
Yeah. And you should keep doing it until you start.
I love Helldivers. There's like a conversation about it going around about like how far does playing into the bit just become fascism? Because Helldivers is very obviously, if you couldn't tell by this presentation and everything we just talked about, is a satire of fascism. Not communism.
I couldn't think of the fucking word.
You did the exact same thing that Super Earth does, where you just labeled all communists as fascists. But yeah, it's a fascist society because it's basically just the society from Starship Troopers. With like a little bit of like Warhammer 40k enemies mixed in there.
Well, I love how you go, it's democracy, but don't think.
Yeah. That's why it's called managed democracy, because they manage your democracy.
Yeah. No, I know.
Which basically means like you go in and you say like, well, I want somebody who's democratic and liberal and votes for these kinds of things, and then the machine goes, yes, we'll vote on your behalf, and then they just pick whoever they want. Yeah. That's called fascism in a bucket. But there's this discussion about like how far is like playing into the bit become fascism, which is something I'm going to talk about on my video. If you go the Buster McTunder channel this week, there's going to be a video on it about media literacy and that kind of thing. Because there is a difference between people who like understand that it's a bit or that it's satire and they just play into the bit, you know, like how we've kind of done for most of this episode. And then there's people who, like, I've seen on TikTok, unironically, be like, well, the automatons are socialist. Obviously, they're like, there's nothing wrong with Super Earth. Like, they have this, they will get this idea where because the bad guys are so bad and so non-human, which is, you know, that's a thing that fascism literally uses to make their enemies seem unhuman so that they could do horrible things to them, like using them for slave labor or using them for oil. And that's obviously like the whole point of Helldivers. Yeah, like they made like the whole point of the Nazis was to make Jewish people seem less than human.
Hitler compared Jewish people like vermin and stuff, right?
To like literal cockroaches.
And then in the sick person's head,
and it's like, what are the enemies in Helldivers? They're literally roaches.
Yeah.
Like it could not be more on the nose.
Can I ask you some questions outside of the bit now?
Yeah.
Do you like outside of the bit? Do you believe the automatons are like the cyborgs?
Oh yeah, for sure. That it is almost all but confirmed because they literally have the exact same logo, and like the automatons, they're robots, but they have like human skulls like over their faceplate, and it's like it's very clearly that they're just like cyborgs but all robot.
So,
but the Super Earth is very intent on being like, no, deny.
But like, why? That was an actual genuine point.
Because they don't want to give them like more power, or kind of like they don't want to like secede to be like, oh yeah, we totally failed, and the cyborgs like became even more dangerous than they were in the past.
Right. So, are the Terminids, are they genuinely there just to like destroy everything?
I mean, they take over a lot of worlds. The main thing is that they are genuinely destructive, but the thing is that Super Earth has literally brought them to the point of extinction, and then been like, well, we're gonna farm them for oil instead of just getting rid of them.
So it's Super Earth's fault that everything is all this destruction.
Yeah. Because literally the outbreak of Terminids at the beginning of Helldivers 2 was they had a bunch of Terminid farms way out in the outer reaches of the galaxy, and then they broke free. They literally Jurassic Parked it.
Yeah. Well, I got that much. I'm trying to ask. I want to know stuff outside of the bit now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's unironically how it worked.
So then, what about the fish people? Do you think they're ever going to come back, or are they gone?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't played Helldivers 1, so if it says it in there, I'm not sure. But everything I could find on the wiki, there was nothing saying that they like were left. Basically, they could. I'm sure they could come back in some capacity. Because Helldivers 2, the way that Helldivers 1 worked out, it had the same galactic map type thing, but it was only 3 factions. So it was like 1/3 of the map, another third of the map, and the third of the map. And then Helldivers 2...
Like 50-50? It's half and half, but on different sides. So
right now, the map is effectively split into 4 corners in like north, south, east, and west. And you have Terminids on the east and Automatons on the west, and the north and south are completely open. So it's suspected that we're probably going to see the Illuminate return from the south and maybe cyborgs from the top, but I don't know why cyborgs would come back if they've all turned into automatons.
Yeah.
My theory is that it's probably another faction birthing out, or maybe even like a combination of factions, like a new combination of factions.
Do you think they'd build it up for long enough that it would be like a wayward human faction?
Like another human faction?
Yeah.
It's possible. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just Space Marines. They just appear.
Dude, could you imagine that fucking crossover?
It would be incredible. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, but...
Could you imagine it's just fucking orcs? Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, no, dude, okay, so I have a question for you. And I'm going to go back on this. This is a fun little question. Who wins, Guardians or Helldivers?
Guardians all day.
Sure.
I'm currently working on a video of like the Zerg from StarCraft, the Hive from Destiny, and the Tyranids from Warhammer. And I mentioned the Tyranids or Terminids in Helldivers, and I'm like, Terminids are cool and they're dangerous for Helldivers. But like if the Zerg are just a weaker Tyranid from Warhammer, the Terminids are just a weaker Zerg. Like they are like so small in comparison to those other big factions.
So you think the Vex beats the Terminids?
The Vex, yeah. I think any Destiny faction could beat the Terminids. Because if the Helldivers could do it, and the Helldivers are basically just dudes.
Not the Vex, I meant the Hive. My bad, the Hive.
Oh, the Hive, totally, yeah.
Hive. Do you think the Vex could take on the Automatons?
Yeah, no doubt. Because the Vex are just so much more complex and more powerful.
But this stuff like time travel shit.
Yeah, the Automatons are just robot soldiers. Like there's nothing like super universe bending about any of the factions in Helldivers.
So do you think, let's say for some reason the 40K universe and the Helldivers universe combined, do you think the Space Marines would oppose Super Earth, or do you think Super Earth would join in under the God Emperor?
I think that the Imperium would probably just take Super Earth over and turn it into one of the many hive worlds that they have. And Super Earth could not oppose if they tried.
But I mean, like, do you think Super Earth would willingly? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they would cling on to power.
No, you think that?
And then Warhammer would just take it because they can.
So I was a little confused.
I think what would happen is that they would see like the Space Marines arrive and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's more communists from the deep of space. They look kind of like automatons. Maybe that's what they are." And they send like a Helldivers, and they have like a pod drop right in front of one of the like Space Marines, and you're gonna see basically like that one clone trooper from the Clone Wars movie where he punches the droid and breaks his hand, and then he immediately gets fucking beat down. Like you're gonna see the equivalent of that.
You know what all I picture is with the pod thing?
Huh.
Is I picture that a pod drops right on top of a Space Marine. Space Marine just fucking smacks that bitch out of the way. Yeah.
He might even just like hold it up, like.
Yeah, he just catches it, just like rips it open, it just rips the guy out.
Or they might just shoot it out of the air before it hits them, because they do move pretty slow once they come on entry. Like, they would just blow it up. Yeah.
So my advice. So I know that we have a habit of bringing up like Space Marines and Guardians when we talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
But so, do you think? Let's say that Helldivers and Destiny combined. Do you think that the Helldivers would join the Guardians?
No.
Or do you think? Well, because
the Helldivers are fascist. They're not really for the good of people. Like they're people that are disposable.
Do you think the Guardians would come down and liberate Super Earth?
Yeah, totally.
Like gun down the government, and do you think the people would be like, woohoo?
Or maybe 50-50. It depends on how many people accept that like they've been living in a fascist dystopia all this time.
Okay.
Like this is one of the things I think I heard what was it? Someone talking about it. I think it was Asmongold who said like, well, like Helldivers isn't a dystopia, it's a utopia because they have everything they want. It's like, well, that's not how fascism works. Like look at North Korea. Like the whole thing about it is they have like that massive city that looks super like high tech and high futuristic, and they have like grocery stores that are full of food, but it's all fake. It's all just a facade to like trick. Not only like do they try to trick the outside world, but to trick their own people that they're doing a lot better than they are. Like there's all these paintings of Super Earth like in the middle of the galaxy and everything, and all this other stuff, but there's even people on your ship in Helldivers 2, like your own like soldiers and stuff will be talking to you. They'll be like, I've never been to Super Earth, but I hope it's as beautiful. I bet it's even more beautiful than it's always been described. So like not a whole lot of people have even been to Super Earth itself. So not that it like looks shitty or anything, but like it's definitely a dystopian like fascist society where they give children guns at 16 and enlist them to be Helldivers by 18.
So here's my next little question. We're going back to the Warhammer thing. Do you think that, because obviously the Helldivers and all the people Super Earth would have a presence in the war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the Grey Knights and like the Executioner guys would just murder all of them? Because they're all a risk.
Well, it's not just being a risk that gets Grey Knights to come after you. It's only a risk if you've like they don't just go to like a human planet and start murdering people. They murder people that have been around demons.
But I'm already making the observation that the demonic corruption would start. Yeah.
If there was demons, then yeah, totally.
What do you think they would just gun down everybody?
Yeah, that's kind of their thing. Is they gun down everybody except for the Astartes.
Yeah. And do you think if the Space Marines were to show up, try to take the planet, and most of the people didn't want that, do you think they would just murder everybody anyways and start fresh?
Yeah, the Imperium does that all the time.
Well, that's what I was asking, right? Because I already knew that answer. Just curious, right? Do you think how much of a fight do you think the Helldivers would put up? Do you think like nothing? Like nothing?
They would try. They have a few weapons that are pretty up there that might be able to kill a Space Marine or two. Like they have nuclear bombs, obviously, and like massive orbital lasers, like Gears of War type stuff. But it's like the Gears of War Space Marine comparison. Like Gears has some like high tech stuff. Marcus Phoenix is not taking down a Space Marine. Like it's just not happening.
it looks like the whole concept when you put them against Guardians. You can kill one Guardian, but there's still at least 2 more right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Guardians have like bullshit superpowers. These are just dudes.
No, but that's the comment that I'm making.
You know, the comparison in Warhammer is like they have like the overwhelming force that the Imperium uses is the Astra Militarum, which is their regular boots on the ground. If there is Space Marines only show up if there is a threat so big that no number of regular soldiers could defeat it, and then they send Space Marines in. That's kind of what Helldivers is. No number of Helldivers could take out the Space Marines. Like, as a whole. Like, they could get a few kills in, but they cannot get close to winning.
Oh, no, that's what I mean, though, right? Is that if there's 5 Space Marines, it's going to take all of their power to kill one, but there's still 4 more, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about it in Helldivers way, but yeah.
No. I was talking...
You kill one Space Marine, but there's still a squad of 9 of them left, and they all have, you know...
But, no, that's what I was talking about in the essence of Guardians, and I'm going to just put the Cabal or, like, anybody else there, right? Yeah. Is you can manage to kill one Guardian, which is a bitch of a task, but you still have to kill 2 more, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you think Space Marines wouldn't even show up? Do you think they'd send all the foot soldiers and just run over the planet?
They would probably send the foot soldiers first, and those foot soldiers would probably win. Because like even the Astra Militarum, even though they're really weak compared to Space Marines, still have a lot more powerful tech than the Helldivers do. Plus just way more numbers.
How many Space Marines do you think it would take to conquer?
So there's a saying in in Warhammer, and this is for Warhammer rules, is that you send 1 Space Marine to take a city, take 10 Space Marines, send 10 Space Marines to take a country, and send 100 to take a culture.
I love that saying so much, and I've heard you say that. Yeah, it's not as bad as the saying of "feel free to kill yourself." Yeah, but it's up there.
It's a hard line. Yeah. I don't remember if it's 100 or 1,000 if it's a full legion, but send a legion of Space Marines to take a culture.
So how many Space Marines do you think if they went to the like the Helldivers universe? How many Space Marines do you think it would take just to conquer and push back all the threats?
Maybe like 2 squads if they're really good Space Marines.
Like how much is a squad again?
10.
And I when I say I'm just a Space Marines, no ships, no nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends how many like Helldiver ships. Maybe a bit more then, because you have what 700,000 Helldivers.
No.
Each of those have a ship.
I'm not talking about them fighting the Helldivers. I'm talking about them fighting the other factions. Yeah.
Of like the Helldivers universe.
Like the people that the things the Helldivers are fighting, right? Yeah, instead of the
like the Automatons and the Terminids. 20. Yeah.
You think 20 Space Marines?
Yeah. Terminids are just like for all of the factions or each?
Yeah, for like each faction.
Probably each. Like if you were to split them up. Each? You could probably have the same 20 and have them like do it like, boss rush style. I don't think they would do that bad, but because like Terminids,
kill the Terminids, walk around, kill everybody on Super Earth, and then just
go right to the Automatons. Yeah, because like you got to think, Automatons are just weak ass Necrons, and Terminids are just weak ass Tyranids. So it's like if they can, kill Terminid fleet or Tyranid fleets, they can definitely kill a Terminid home planet.
Yeah. I like that. I don't know. I think it's a fun concept. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Do you think the Helldivers, as they are, as the number size them, would hold up against any of the Warhammer factions that isn't the Space Marines?
Maybe the.
Or do you think they?
No.
Or do you think
the tech in Warhammer is just so much more advanced? Like you're better off comparing them to like the ODST or something. Like nothing in Warhammer even comes close.
Yeah, it's just Warhammer.
Which ones they have the best chance against is like maybe the Astra Militarum, I guess, but or maybe like the Votan just because they're small. But that's about it. The Tau have sniped, they will kill Helldivers before they get a chance to see them. The Necrons have bullshit time machine tech. The Tyranids, if you think Terminids are bad, the Tyranids are 17 times worse. The Orcs are gonna see you kill them, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this is a good place to be," and they'll continue fighting.
No. Yeah, That was as saying. Because you imagine being like a
No.
Helldivers.
You
you're gunning down orcs, and in the hopes that they're gonna go away, and just more start piling up when they like cheer them on.
You know what would happen is that the orcs would be fighting Helldivers. They would look up to the sky and they would see the Helldivers coming down in their hell pods, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And they go up to their orc ship and they start getting these balls of metal together, like the Cabal from Destiny, and they just send these orbs full of orcs down into the Helldivers. And they would just start copying them, and they'd be like, "That looks like fun," and start doing it.
That's a good idea.
Oh, I like that one. That looks like fun.
So we've stacked them up against, and as we talk about more stuff, I want to kind of expand this a little bit.
Do you want to? Every time we go through an idiot's guide, do you want to end it with "Can it beat Warhammer"?
Well, no, I just want to run it through a few different stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the next one we talk about, maybe it might just be Helldivers and Warhammer, right? You know what I mean?
We got to do that episode where we put like all of the different teams and factions and stuff up against each other with everything we do in an idiot's guide.
So my question for the Helldivers is, do you think they stand a chance against any of the Destiny factions that aren't the Guardians?
Probably, maybe the Fallen. It depends if they have darkness or not, and then
it's all of the Fallen, all of the houses, like minus the score, right? Yeah.
All of the houses, maybe, and that's if they can get around like Fallen tanks and stuff, because more heavier artillery type stuff is kind of an issue for the Helldivers. And that's only by pure the fact that like the Fallen are like kind of the smallest faction in Destiny, or like the least technologically advanced. Huh?
Well, also just to like remember though, the Helldivers also don't have the light. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right. So if a guardian is finding a bunch of like, fallen hard with the light, the Helldivers don't stand a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which faction do you think would completely shred them though, out of like Destiny stuff?
Like they have the least chance against?
Yeah, like it's over.
Guardians.
Like, rather than the Guardians, because obviously
the Hive,
the Guardians got broken.
The Vex, literally any of them, really.
The Cabal.
It is. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to kill Helldivers.
I know. I just a curiosity thing. Yeah. That was fun. All right, that's all my questions, I think.
It was a lot of fun. I think this is it. Go check out the Jericho podcast. Check out the episodes I'm doing on media literacy and fascism and Helldivers on the Buster channel. And there will be, as I said, a Terminids, Hive, and whatever the other one is, Zerg episode on there too. So some exciting stuff to look forward to. Tyranids, whatever. Terminids also make an appearance in the video, but
and not just those, but make sure to check out all their catalog as well. Watch all those other videos. Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing next for this, but I've got a few ideas. We might be doing Horizon next.
Ooh, lovely. We've also got a VODs channel for the streams that we do.
The VODs. So I haven't done the VODs channel in a minute because now that I've started streaming on YouTube, it just automatically puts the VOD on my YouTube channel. So I just haven't done it.
Never mind, go watch the VODs.
Just go to the Buster McTunder YouTube channel. It's on there. Join the Discord. You can play with us. We're going to play games like Helldivers and Overwatch and stuff soon. Sea of Thieves if you like that kind of co-op experience.
Just about anything. You come with an idea to the server, we'll probably look into it. Yeah.
But I can hear my sound cue. I gotta get going.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me again, Ben, and thank you everybody for watching. If you tune in, and go fuck yourselves. Feel free to.
Hi there. Democracy, our way of life. Oh, hello. But freedom doesn't come free. No! Sweet liberty! No! Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free. Join the Helldivers.